And she is a registered nurse as well. She has her Bachelor of Science of Nursing. She has over 40 years of nursing experience, which includes intensive care, cardiac rehabilitation. But we also want to thank Norma and any other veteran that is in this room. Norma retired from the U.S. military. Her service included work with the United States Air Force Tactical Air Command and the U.S. Navy Reserve as a nurse corps. And she was also deployed to the Gulf War deployment. She has been married, yes. Can't thank our service people enough. She has been married over 40 years with 4 children, 9 grandchildren, and with her Nikan Health and Wellness, her focus is to avoid chronic illness and medications with all the side effects. And let's welcome Norma to our presentation here.
I think my husband too, he also retired from the Marine Corps. And they're the ones that help me fine-tune this. So if you got one of these little props, I'll explain what they're all about. I have a tendency to get a little overexcited when you want to talk about stress. And I have a tendency to want to shovel it down everybody's throat, and I don't want to do that tonight. So if you feel like I'm getting rattling on or getting carried away, hold that little spoon up and I'll try to slow it down. Or if you can't hear me, hold that spoon up and I'll try to be a little louder at the same time. Okay? Still reading? Can you hear? Okay. I told Anastasia I've been in here for 40 years, but I think if the math was right, I've probably been in nursing and the medical field for closer to 50 years. And it's a lot of years. But I started in high school, so that was a long time ago. But the whole idea behind all of that is I've seen a lot of changes. Some of them good, some of them bad. One of my first jobs I can remember is passing out a whole little cup full of medications to each person. You know, we'd have this whole carton. One nurse would go around pushing pills. And a lot of them, like you hear on TV, you took one pill to take another pill. But that's not what my goal is. And I have to put little comments on here, and I have to kind of chuck them. Esther made a comment about the bone joint health. You know, and this is going to overlap a little bit with that. Anastasia said nutrition. Some of this is going to refer to here. William Todd talked about the 5 pillars of health. That's one of my favorite parts. And I woke up, I don't know how many times last night saying, you know, I didn't address that very much in here. So I'm glad you addressed it, even though I'll probably touch it again. Jen mentioned the 4 infrared, and I got lots and lots of benefits from that. And then Roger talked about the notes or the seeds. I had to chuckle because he had the little phone with all his notes. Well, I'm from the old school. I'm the older person. I have notes. So I have to go back and refer to my notes. I'll try not to read them, but this is to help me kind of fine-tune. Again, I can talk all day long on this subject, and she tells me I don't have that much time, so that's why I'm trying to condense it down. But I am from Texas, so if my words sound a little funny or a little slurred or a little drawn out, that's maybe why. But anyway, a lot of us have seen challenges, maybe due to old age, maybe being, I said like the Texas talk, rode hard, put up wet, and not just taking care of ourselves, you know. Too many times we go, 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 and whether we don't take the nutrition, or we don't get the rest, whatever it is, or we have relationships that put us under strain. Those are things that break our bodies down. Some of the issues that we have is quick fix. You can go to the emergency room, you can go to the doctor's office, take care of something, whether it's stitches or a cold, and you don't have any kind of long-term side effects. But some of us can end up with chronic problems or long-term problems. You know, this might end up with related to your family genes. Maybe it's to your sports. You know, if you're a football player or a basketball player, you see all these guys get hurt all the time, and girls too. I won't say just guys. But what if you're a rodeo fan? You got bucked off the horse a few times, you know, or fell out of trees when you were younger. You know, all of those. Or a truck driver. Or someone that was sitting behind a desk. I know they mentioned today or this morning about being all crunched up. Well, after a while, that starts playing on your body. You know, co-worker that lost several inches because she too was a rider. And she slumped over so far, and all of a sudden she lost a couple of inches because her bones and her muscles started pulling together. So these are things long range can do. You know, whether or not it's a car, whether it's our body, we start wearing out over a period of time. The more we wear on it, the more we start deteriorating if we don't take care of it or replace what the problems are. And, you know, maybe you know your magic number, how many years you're going to have, but I've heard so many times I didn't know I was going to live this long, you know, otherwise I would have taken better care of myself. You know, and I have a 95-year-old lady that still independent, still lives by herself. But yet I've seen some 30, 40, 50-year-olds, they're not half as good a shape as what she's in. So, you know, years itself has nothing to do with it. You know, you can get all wound up or depressed because you have a special birthday. It doesn't really mean anything. You know, we listened from a nursing seminar last week, and I think it was my husband or some of the other vets may not appreciate it, but Jane Fonda made a comment, and I heard it also at the lecture. It says, you know, if you think about a scenario, I'm a visual type person, and if you go up and you come down, and that's kind of what life is, but it doesn't have to be. It can kind of be a spiral staircase, you know, going up. Each time as we go up, we get a little better. You know, you get up, you learn, you get up, you go, and learn. You don't have to get that, oops, this is my last one, I'm going to drop off, and that's going to be it. You know, no one says we have to stop living when we get 70, 80, or 90, or 100 years old. You know, our life is what we make of it, too. God gave each one of us separate lives. It depends on how we take care of it, what we do. These rubber bands that some of you have represents, as far as I'm concerned, life. You know, what happens if you pull a rubber band apart?
Snaps.
Do you know where it snaps?
Isn't it in the middle or something like that?
At the weak point, exactly. And every one of our bodies are the same way. Whether it's our knees, whether it's our back, whether it's our heart. You know, all of these, even some cancers can be related to stress. And that's what represents this rubber band. If you pull it apart long enough, stress is going to start wearing out on something, and all of a sudden something's going to fall apart. You know, our job, or should be, is to find out where your stress is. Every one of us have a different stressors. When I worked in the emergency room, you know, the adrenaline gets going, you have the ambulance coming in. But then, there's so much, how many, you have 3 or 4 ambulances coming at one time. You can only have so much stress, and then you start falling apart. Well, you need to have a break in there somewhere. You need to have something to relax you, 20, 30 minutes at a time, something to break that stressors. You know, what do you do to break your stressors? Belly laughter is a really good one. You know, not just a chuckle, I mean really a laughter. They say kids growing up, they have hundreds of times a day that they chuckle and laugh and giggle and all this and fun. Grown-ups don't, we're too serious, you know, we take life, oh no, we can't do that, that's too stern, you know. And if you go to work, that's supposed to be a serious thing, right? You're not supposed to enjoy it. Wrong. If you can't enjoy it, you're in the wrong place. So that's why these little things are. But gratitude. You take time to appreciate what you have, whether it's your family, whether it's your ability to move around, whether it's ability to have friends and to share. You know, a lot of us here kind of help each other. We kind of elbow each other from time to time. We kind of lifted each other up when times go down. Or if we're learning something, that's one of the best things you can do is to have someone there to get you back up again. Hopefully your family's there with you too. You know, do you exercise? Exercise is important. It helps burn up all that extra adrenaline. You know, when your body goes under stress, it dumps over this extra fuel in your body. You know, it's kind of like a gas tank. Your gas tank will only hold so much and then it's going to overflow. Well, our bodies are the same way. After a period of time, I kind of... after watching them. But you think about, we'll talk about the sugars. One of the big things is, to me, if your body doesn't have any sugar in it, your bloodline is going to be kind of like water. It's going to just flow anywhere it wants to. Well, what happens if you have too much? To me, it's going to turn like molasses, you know? And then you have these little tiny little blood vessels or capillaries that go down to your toes or to maybe to part of your organs. All of a sudden, they're not getting the blood supply. That's when they start dying on you. That's when you start losing your functions. That's not what you want. You know, that's not the health that you're looking for. You don't have to necessarily be a diabetic to be all this, but we can cause ourselves to become diabetics. The other thing is you have a healthy or supportive relationship. If not a person, maybe even a pet. You know, I had animals, but I kind of was always fond of the horses. You know, and I still am. But you know, horses, just other people, instead of making them relax, might make them all stressed out. You ever heard the saying, you know, you need to go and mentally put yourself at a beach somewhere, or, you know, where the ocean's coming in for. I don't. I'm from South Texas. That was salty, that was sandy, that was pretty. I didn't like that. I would rather be out by a creek somewhere, or, you know, with a clover where it's cool under the shade trees, and listen to the birds. And then another person said, oh, no, not that. That's where the chiggers are. That's where the chiggers are. So every one of us need to find a place that you can relax, that you can sit back and be comfortable. You need to go, even if you have to go to the bathroom and close the door for a little bit, just to get your mind away from what the problems are of the day. You know, can you have meditation? Can you have quiet time, deep breathing? And I think Jen's one mentioned too. For years and years, I told everybody how to breathe. I was telling them wrong. I thought they just wrote it all wrong in the book. You know, they said, breathe with your stomach like a baby. I said, no. You take a deep breath with your lungs, with your brain. That's not what you're supposed to do. It makes a big difference. When you're older, you start having all these crazy things that go on with your heart. You know, when you breathe with your stomach and relax, it does calm your body down. It helps your whole body kind of just relax and go into meditation. Talk about healthy diets. Those are important, you know. If you're in a stressful situation and you have a lot of high sugars, not the good diet type, you don't handle that stress. It gets to you mentally and also to your stomach too. Your acids all starts going in there. You'll end up with an ulcer if you're not watching it. So watch your diets too. Healthy rest. We talked about the infrared. Those are very important things. They kind of calm your body down. If you have aches and pains at night, that's one of the neatest things to relax your body, whether it's just your shoulders, whether it's your back. The first year after I retired, I had dislocated this shoulder. 6 months later, I broke this, and in between, I messed up my knee. Part of it was poor body mechanics. Part of it was from a cluttered house that my husband finally told me about. But some of it was watching where I was going. But regardless, you know, we have after effects. You know, the bones itself might start healing, but you still have residuals sometimes. This one is cold sensitive, this one is warm sensitive. So I have to kind of juggle my body a little bit as what goes on with it. If you don't take care of those stressors, one of the things that can end up happening is you end up with long-term effects. And we already talked about some of them being the heart. Well, I worked in cardiac rehab, and it was so eye-opener, I guess, in some ways. We have people breathe at the end of the shift to get their heart rate down, to help them to relax. If you don't, you know, the heart rate stays up, the blood pressure stays up. You want it to get up a little bit, but you don't want it to stay up there the whole time. So you want to find a place to help it to come down. If you live in a stressful situation all that time, your body stays all tensed up the whole time. What about your joint pains? You take so much, and then it, you know, it starts pulling apart your body, whether it's weight on your body, which is also another stressor. You can also talk about, I guess when we were talking about the diet a while ago, I had to chuckle one time because we grew up, and maybe some of y'all did too, where you don't waste food. But if you stop and think, you either waste food, putting it in your mouth where you don't need it, or you waste food throwing it away. It's true. So which way is going to be more healthy for you? Granted, you know, whatever you put on your plate, if you're going to eat it, be careful what you put on your plate. Some people's problems or symptoms of stress is you lose or gain weight. You know, it's not always the same. You know, I've had situations where my weight would fall off. It doesn't now. But some people put it on. Maybe they feed themselves because they're all stressed out. Other people feel like the sleep cycle. You know, if I stay in bed, all my problems will go away. I won't have any problems at all. When I wake up, wrong, it doesn't work that way either. And other people say, well, I just can't sleep. I think about my problems all night long. So if you have some changes in your sleep habit, that could be a stress problem. How about your energy? Are you an energizer buddy? Are you a depressed, moping person that says, leave me alone, I don't want to talk to anybody, I'm just go in the room and close the door? You know, it can affect you either way. So be aware of what your body does to it. Our goal, again, like I said, is to find your weak spot, to help to improve it or find out what can help. My goal over the past, or my challenge over the past 7 years, I've been with NECAN almost, I guess between 15 and 20 years, I don't know the exact number in there. But during the last 7 years, I was a manager, I was a commander, I was, I felt like I had a conflict of interest. So I couldn't share this, or I didn't share it with people. All of a sudden, I started seeing all these people that needed stuff, and I started feeling guilty. And I said, no more. That's why I'm out here. If there's something I can help with, that's my goal. So I have leaky eyes, so I'm going to shut up so I can't read my papers anymore. But anyway, if you got questions, at the end, like I say, we'll help. There's lots of demonstrations up here too. But think about it, if you're getting yourself all stressed out about that rubber band, if you pull it long enough, something's going to break or it's going to stretch out of shape. Our bodies will do the same thing.